Welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show. And now, here's Jeff Crilley.
Welcome back. Author Pia Pulido and her husband, music producer, songwriter Michael Pulido, have created some children's books that really impart the values about making wise choices. Welcome to the Jeff Crilley Show.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, Jeff.
So how did this all begin?
It all started in a day at a park with his son. When he was 3 years old, I was trying to form a bond with his son through storytelling. And I found that we were really good at it together in collaboration. And it had inspired Michael to create original songs that go with the story. And then after that, teaching. So here we are, teaching and writing and creating original content for lessons in language arts and also music.
Pia, you're a teacher in Irving, is that right?
Yes, I teach middle school for Travis Middle School in Irving ISD.
Excellent. So as you looked at the books that were out there and the materials that teachers had to work with, did you find that they were lacking?
Yes, we were lacking creativity in the classroom. I know that my students, especially in the elementary and of course in the middle school, they really need to be inspired to create their own. So what better way than to teach by example? And we use those books specifically to model creativity.
Absolutely. And Michael, you know, music is just almost eternal. It really does engage children. Some of our earliest memories are singing songs.
Yeah, absolutely. And it definitely engaged me. I've been an entrepreneur since I graduated high school. And one of the main things I found that was lacking when Pia started teaching is that entrepreneurial spirit that is not available in just standard education. And when I started working with homeschool families and writing their curriculum, I found myself starting teaching things like insurance contracts, business contracts to students in regards to language arts, and music was kind of like a background thing. In doing business development, working with companies that are selling companies and mergers and acquisitions, I found, I'm teaching as a consultant these business owners. Why can't I take that to like a kindergartner and teach them how to do the exact same thing and have them grow in that mindset that they don't have to look anywhere but to themselves and to their parents? Working with homeschool families, I found that I can directly engage the parent one-on-one and just tell them, hey, look, do not dumb this down for your kids. Stop it. Teach them exactly what the words mean, teach them the contracts, teach them grammar, teach them ethics, more importantly, and teach them how business should be done rather than how it's being done, and do a compare and contrast that way.
And our daughter Zoe, she's 10 years old, and she's an entrepreneur herself. She's crocheted blankets, she's sold all kinds of keychains, she's made enough money to buy her own iPod, and now she's working to make money to buy her new sewing machine. So she's really wonderful with that,
Speaking of Zoe, come on up here and get on the mic, because I know Mom and Dad have created a number of different characters. Which one is your favorite character?
Maybe Camilla the Chameleon in their third book.
Really?
Yes.
Tell us about the chameleon.
Well, she has struggles finding herself in her school because she has this tail and everybody makes fun of her, and she overcomes that, really. So it's kind of inspirational for me.
That's beautiful. Well, how do you come up with these characters? Do they come to you in a dream, or how do you?
Stories from the classroom. I have stories like you wouldn't believe. But I translate that in children's books and themes. Like Blue Dragonfly is all about self-discovery and independent learning. Terrible Trevor is bullying situations. Camilla the Chameleon is about being comfortable in your own skin. And that's the third book that's coming out. We're trying to do a book launch, perhaps in December. We're trying to get everybody and garner everyone to at least, buy our second book, Terrible Trevor. We have 20 left, and we'd love to just, spread the word and have people buy those books and, just generate all these wonderful events for the kids, like singing and dancing and all creative arts. That's really what we're here for, is just to foster creative arts into the curriculum.
Right. And the books also, they come with a whole multimedia package, like real tutorials that are graded that the children and the parents can do that go over the book and over different concepts of, like she said, anti-bullying is one thing, and, different ways you can approach anti-bullying in the classroom as well as on the computer. You mentioned earlier, we live in a digital age now, so we have to approach kids, especially in the universal way that they're being approached. If it doesn't match that, they're kind of going to push it to the side. So we have the book. It comes with a full multimedia package. So if they get bored with the book as they get older, you can work together, parent and child, and do the tutorials and use them, pass them down, pass them along.
What does it feel like when you come up with a character and then you present it to children and you see their eyes light up? What does that feel like for you?
Like living on purpose. It makes me feel alive. I really love to inspire kids to overcome differences and disabilities. As you may know, I'm hearing impaired, so every challenge in life is difficult. But I've got a musician for a husband, so we're a perfect match. Good combination.
Do you have characters come to you when you're just out looking around, shopping? I mean, where does the inspiration come from?
Well, the inspiration comes from who we're trying to address. When we started teaching, or when Pia started teaching, we really wanted to stop addressing the adult business side of things and start addressing the young entrepreneur. And we're talking before birth. So that means training the mother, training the father to train their children. You won't need us after a year. So then we decided, well, let's start progressing in that role and start doing that. But our inspiration comes from who we're trying to address. And one of our next books that's coming out, it's called A Sense of Love's Calling, which is about a dog that we rescued. And it's going to be about animal care, rescuing animals, or at least taking care of them if you're not going to rescue them. And if you have them, love them like they're humans, like they're the same light that we are. And so our inspiration comes from who we're trying to address. It comes from mainly who we are, the struggles that we've overcome, and the struggles that we'd like to help others overcome as well.
Now, this is part of a 7-book series. Am I right about that?
Right. It started as a 6-book series, and the more publicity that we get, thanks to you, in this regard, we'd like it to be a 100-book series. We just want it to keep going, but it all flows under the river of imagination. And just let it keep flowing, let it keep going through you to the next person, to the next.
So what are some themes that you're going to address in upcoming books?
Sense of Love's Calling with animal therapy, and also the main thing for Camille the Chameleon is being comfortable in your own skin. Confidence. You develop confidence through self-discovery, through standing up for yourself. So all of that encompasses the river of imagination. You let the words flow, you let creativity flow, and with that energy, we can all make the world a better place.
Right. And one of the stronger suits that we've been getting a lot of attention for is when I started teaching in homeschools, I started teaching a lot of autistic children, children with dyslexia or different special needs. And we found that our lessons really cater to those in terms of having the parent find a new way to communicate beyond the norms of language. And one of our books is going to be Living Beyond Normal. And that's going to be about an autistic child that learns to communicate with the mother in ways that we've never thought of before. And that's what we want to bring to the table is let's think out of the box a little bit. And let's let this research that's happening work for us rather than just be in the archives, be in the magazines. Let's use it. That's what they're doing it for.
And when you're competing with video games and all the kind of flashing lights, is it tough to grab children's imagination these days?
No. The video game is in your head. If you can get you to close your eyes and see the lasers that are happening as you're trying to learn something like a major or minor scale and turn that into something as obscure as a Lockean scale, and then if you take away the, let's practice because practice makes perfect. No, practice allows you to see those obstacles. Now let's get through those obstacles, but it's not an outward obstacle, it's an internal obstacle. And that's where our kids really grow and progress.
Wow, and this is Sarah Crilley. I am just so inspired by hearing your story, and I have a 5-year-old son, Caleb. What is your website, and how do we get your books?
mandpcreative.com. And you can also find me all over social media.
You're on Facebook?
Everywhere. So, you can respond to me by doing that.
And what is your Facebook?
Pia Pulido.
Awesome. And we'll have that on the Jeff Crilley Show website and social media channels as well. Thank
Absolutely.
you guys so much.
You
Wow.
guys were awesome. Zoe, you
thank
want to say come say goodbye?
Bye.
Thanks so much for sharing
Thanks
with
so
us,
much
Zoe.
for joining
Yeah.
us on the
Yeah.
Jeff Crilley Show. This was wonderful. When we come back, our regular Legal Eagle segment with a close personal friend, Scott Palmer, is up next on the Jeff Crilley Show.
More of the Jeff Crilley Show coming up.